All right, so thank you so much for your time and attention. Now let's go on to the real reason that you came and that we all came, and that's to hear David give us a state of the county. For those that don't know David, he is a longtime resident of Paulding County. He supported the local Paulding community for years. Attended Dallas High School and graduated from the University of West Georgia with a BBA degree in marketing and management. David has spent 30 years in corporate management and is known for his ability to grow companies from local entities to nationally recognized profitable companies. David is an active member of the Dallas First United Methodist Church and is a member of the Paulding County Chamber, Paulding County Hospital Authority, and serves as Vice Chairman of the Cobb-Marietta Water Authority, Vice Chairman of the Northwest Georgia Regional Commission, and Chairman of the 8th CCG Government Policy Council. David currently resides in the New Hope community with Jane, his wife of 42 years. Please help me welcome David to the stage.
Couple of announcements, so I know I will get this. Tonight at Huey Lewis, between 4 and 7, they will donate 50% of their revenue to the Murphy Hart Children's Home. So if you can come and do that, that'll be wonderful tonight between 4 and 7. Also, there's the Trip Halstead Day. Chick-fil-A will be donating money, and that will be on April the 1st, and there's information on your table, but we will make a proclamation to Trip on that day. You know, a few weeks ago, Jane said, do something different this year. So she drugged me to the movie Les Miserables. So what I thought I'd do is turn this into a musical. Well, I'm no Hugh Jackman. So then I watched The Bachelor with her. And I thought, well, I can just get up here and take off my shirt. But I realized I'm no Sean. So I'm just going to deliver to you the state of the county. It's an honor to serve as your chairman. Now, I know if I was given a choice, you'd rather hear Kevin Harry sing than hear me talk. Kevin, awesome job. Boy Scouts, awesome job. He fires me up and he gets me ready to do this. I'd like to thank my wife, Jane. She doesn't always claim to be my wife, but my wife of this year, 42 years. She's helped me in this journey. Thank you for your insight. Along with my wife is my daughter, Jady. She's led all my campaigns and has always believed in me. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Steve Schofield, for your great prayer and your inspiration on Sundays. I'm fortunate to have him as my pastor, so thank you very much. Joel Osteen always starts out with a little humor before he starts to preach, so I thought today I'd share with you. The pastor is a sports fan, so University of Georgia was playing Alabama for the real national championship game. UGA was driving down the field, and in the last minute of the game, as you remember, Mark Richt prayed to God, what do I do? Do I spike the ball or do I go for it? Of course, you know the outcome of that game with Alabama winning. In a later prayer session, Mark Richt was praying to God. He said, how did I miss that one? How did I miss not to spike the ball? God took a second. He looked over at Bear Bryant and he said, how did he miss that one, Bear? Thank you for being here, and thank you for the great leadership of this chamber, the staff, the ambassadors, the executive board, and all the volunteers. We couldn't do this job without you. I'd like to thank my Board of Commissioners for all the hard work that you've done during all these difficult times, and it hasn't been easy. We have had the retirement of Larry Ragsdale to join the forces with Wayne Kirby and Don Powell in the election of Dave Carmichael to serve as your new Post 1 Commissioner. Thank you, Dave. I am blessed to have a great county clerk and an assistant to the board, Pat Tibbetts. As you know, my regular answer is just ask Pat or set it up with Pat. So Pat, if you're here, would you stand? Where is she? In the back with Pat always comes Ronnie. Ronnie's doing something to help us all, and it's a twofer. You don't have to pay Ronnie, you just have to pay Pat. We're fortunate to have great county employees with us today and to serve with us along with our constitutional and statutory officers to rise up and lead our county in a very honorable fashion. So if you're with Paulding County today, would you please rise up and let us welcome you and thank you in any way, form, or fashion. And Dick, why don't we give you a standing ovation? Our Board of Elections are here with us, and they're sitting back on the table. Thank you. We're in the middle of holding an election right now. So regardless of how you think about the issue, they're going to give you a vote on Sunday sales. So please get out and vote. And information is on your table. I'd also like to thank the cities of Dallas and Hiram for all your hard work to help us govern this great county. Our public safety with E911 and sheriff and fire are second to none in the nation and in the state. So thank you, Sheriff Gullidge, and all the other safety folks. Thank you very much. We have some new faces in our delegation at the Capitol with Kim Alexander, Micah Grabley, and Mike Dugan joining the veteran team of Howard Maxwell, Paulette Braddock, and Bill Heath. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you to the Board of Education and to Cliff Cole and Brian Otot for our regular meetings to discuss issues. Cliff, I know you're here somewhere. There he is. Thank you very much. A lot to talk about and to discuss. We have many dignitaries with us today from the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia, the Northwest Georgia Regional Commission. Lloyd, thank you. With adjoining county leaders, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Now I'd like to thank one more person, Jody Martin. Bless her heart. She's had to listen to this and hear this more than you can imagine. In fact, I caught her the other day almost trying to stick a fork in her eye to keep from having to do it one more time. Jody, thank you. I'd like to dedicate this day to an inspirational, motivational Christian and a speaker, Zig Ziglar. He passed away this past November, but Zig Ziglar was one of my favorite folks. I studied his tapes. I was in the car for 52 miles one way, so it was pretty easy to listen to. I only got to see him once in person, but Ziglar was known for many famous quotes, and two of my favorite ones are, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. And you can do all you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want in life. How amazing is that? With these two quotes in mind, I'm compelled to give the first Chairman's Annual Community Service Award for a lifetime of dedication to making Paulding County a better place to Ken Thigpen. Ken, would you come forward? I am honoring him for his 40 years of leadership on the Industrial Building Authority, for which there has never been any pay but blood, sweat, and tears. Ken, I can't thank you enough. As I reflect on the past 4 years of the 500-year flood, the ice storm, and recently the 2012 tornado, the word resilience comes to mind. Resilience means facing life's difficulties with courage and patience, refusing to give up. It is a quality of character that allows a person or group of people, Paulding Countyans, to rebound from misfortune, hardship, and trauma. Looking at the volunteers that showed up at Poole Elementary day after day and week after week, it is written, and I quote, "Much of our resilience comes from community, from the relationships that allow us to lean on each other in times of support when we need it. There's no better place in the world than Paulding County. And thank you to the volunteers and all the people who dedicated time, our cities and counties. We could always use the excuse for us and not be able to move forward with any of these catastrophes, but I'm reminded of the words of Bernard of Clairvaux. Thank you, Pastor, who lived in the 1100s and died in 1153. If you concentrate hard on the state you are in, it would be surprising if you have time for anything else. We did not concentrate on the state we were in, but we moved forward with zeal to accomplish our three main goals: water, economic development, and transportation. But before we go to our goals, I want to tell you that the state of the county is healthy. We have not recovered from this recession, but we are recovering. What happens in Washington, D.C. with sequestration may have some effect on our local county, but our local and state leadership will need to be strong to accomplish these goals. Now, I've been through sequestration over these past 4 years. I know what it feels like to cut jobs and lose folks, so I think Washington is just catching up. Much of what we look to accomplish needs the help of our legislature and our Congress. So the Chamber assembled 30 people last year and 16 people this year to a fly-in to Washington, D.C. to make sure that we're on the same page for reservoir funding, highway funding, and incentives for economic development. We are also in constant contact with our legislative delegation, and they are in crossover day today, so probably a lot will or won't get done today. But we visit with them quite often at the Gold Dome. The first of our goals, as you remember from last year, is water. As we talk about water, Governor Deal is a great proponent of our Richland Creek Reservoir, riding the Corps of Engineers to ask for our full permit and trying to remove obstacles that are in our way. Governor Deal has set up a meeting with Colonel Jackson over the whole southeast United States to further along our reservoir. We are forever grateful for his leadership to see what an important role water plays in our economic development. Working with the Savannah Corps and the Mobile Corps, this 404 permit looks very promising. We have secured $29.1 million and will continue the effort with another 2.9, and also with the help of Michael Carter, are you here? Our Water and Sewer Director, if you'll stand. Anybody with the Water Authority, the Water Advisory Board, Ron Harris, our consultant, Mike Jones, our county administrator. Couldn't do this job without you, Mike, wherever you are. And Post 4 Commissioner David Barnett, where the reservoir will be built, and myself with unrelenting energy to secure Paulding's own water source. The Metropolitan North Georgia Water Planning District, with its chairman, Boyd Austin, has been a great ally for the funding of this reservoir. Now let's cover our goal number 2, economic development. And why is economic development important? Because the more industrial and commercial growth that we have, and the more base that we have, relieves you as a homeowner from your higher taxes. So again, I want to state we need a balance, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. As we move into economic development, there are a lot of great things that have happened. So let me cover. The Wellstar Paulding Hospital. I think Mark's here. In April, we had the groundbreaking of this $135 million state-of-the-art Paulding Hospital. This project will create 300 to 500 new medical jobs and serve as a gateway to the Paulding corporate corridor. Wellstar Paulding is a key component to Paulding's economic development marketing efforts. With 3 cranes in place, Brassfield Gorey has completed all the floors and a 2-tier parking deck. When completed, the Wellstar Paulding Hospital will stand 8 stories tall. I think there's 2 or 3 stories below the ground. How exciting is that? Isn't that great? We will open for business in April of 2014, according to Mark Haney, Senior Vice President of Real Estate, Administrator of the Wellstar Paulding Hospital, and Chairman of the Economic Development Board. Will Mark and anyone from Wellstar, the Economic Development Board, and Jamie Gilbert please stand as our Director? Next, we have the Atlanta Film Studios, Paulding County. Sitting on 11 fenced acres, the Atlanta Film Studios, Paulding County, boast of 2 brand new 20,000 square feet sound stages, an additional 30,000 square feet of mill space, and 6,000 feet of production and office space. This studio can accommodate any filming needs. There are only 4 studios like this of its kind in the whole Atlanta area. The Atlanta Film Studio, Paulding County, wrapped production in 2012 of the legendary pictures produced Jackie Robinson biopic 42, starring Harrison Ford, Chadwick Boseman, and Christopher Maloney. This was distributed by Warner Brothers. 42 hits the theaters next month. So watch this. This is an exciting moment for Paulding County that this film was filmed here in Paulding along with other southern places. Nick and Jeremy, will y'all stand there with us today? They're with Roadtown Enterprises, and they will bring additional film and TV productions here. They just did a commercial as recently as 2 weeks ago at our theater, and they told me I could announce that we have a new high-profile AMC television pilot that will be filmed over the next 8 weeks. Now, if that pilot gets picked up, then we've got weeks and months after that for it to be successful. So hopefully, if you'll stay tuned, more events to come. I was a little late getting here because there was a Swiss company that came in to look at our offices and see if they could use it to film a movie. And it looks like they're going to be doing this. It will be a Reese Witherspoon movie. And I volunteered her to stay with Jane and I, so I hope that's okay. Next, we have the Paulding County City of Dallas Opportunity Zone. We received this approval from the Department of Community Affairs in April of 2012. This is a tremendous corporate with income and withholding incentives offered to entice businesses to the area, for the economic development team to also use this great tax incentive to attract manufacturing to our county. Jamie Gilbert has taken this and done leaps and bounds with it. So Jamie, thank you. Keep in mind that this major incentive is not only for new, but it's for existing businesses to hire 2 or more people into this opportunity zone. Another great asset is fiber, the Appalachian Valley Fiber Network. Our economic growth opportunity is also enhanced by the availability to offer fiber. Paulding was handicapped for many years not to be able to have this, but our future looks bright, and we will be connected to the world with our new fiber network. We have Ken Carlton here with us today. Ken, where are you? Right here. Ken's with Parker Fiber out of Somerville, so it's a great local company. Thank you, Ken. And the fiber is important to us as in our new business commerce park. One project in the Opportunity Zone is this 30-acre Class A business park. This park will become the home of the $10 million Interroll Regional Center of Excellence. Interroll plans to build a 92,300 square feet facility, 5,000 feet of showroom, and initially employ 70 to 100 associates. This Swiss company is the world's largest manufacturer of conveyor systems and components serving the logistics, food processing, airport, and security industries. Interroll plans a major event to showcase this facility to the world in 2014. Now, how exciting is that to have the new Wellstar Hospital and the new Interroll building all in the same year? Very exciting time for Paulding. Next, we have the Dallas Industrial Park. And would anybody with the Industrial Building Authority, would you guys please stand if you're here? And Ken, that includes you. You're still a part of that. Thank you all. The IBA purchased 120 acres on the West Memorial Drive, located in the Opportunity Zone, and this will be developed as a new light industrial park. This was a foreclosed subdivision that was in bankruptcy. Now it will be the future home of Haddad's Film Support Company. I don't know about this fellow, but he was a neighbor to Doris Debbie up in Michigan, so Pittsburgh, thank you very much. Having him here and his company is like having doctors here prior to a hospital being built. It is a catalyst for the film and entertainment industry, and we are so excited. Now let's move into aviation. I don't know if Calvin Thompson is here with us today, but I'd like to recognize Calvin and the Airport Authority. If you serve on that board, would you stand? Along with Blake Swafford. Blake, if you're here, would you stand as our airport director? Thank you all for your vision. And what looks ahead for the technology part. The Airport Authority has entered into a long-term contract with a company to build relationship on that company's aerospace and aviation industry folks that they know. This should bring industrial and manufacturing jobs to the Paulding Northwest campus. Please stay tuned for more announcements to be made in that area. Keep in mind, I'm always asked, why are we still spending money at the airport? In 2011, Georgia Aerospace supported 242,000 jobs, nearly 5% of the state's employment, and contributed $23 billion to the state's GDP. That's nearly 6%. That is why aviation and aerospace are so important to Paulding County. During an exciting year of first, the vision of the Airport Authority Chairman and the Director and the members, Dave Carmichael and Kerry Tidmore, would you guys stand? You and Dave? Folks, they are responsible for us hosting the first air show that we had at the Northwest Georgia Regional Airport on October the 20th, 2012. The air show was appropriately named the Salute to America Show in honor of all the great men and women in this country who have dedicated their lives to helping maintain our precious freedom through their military service. Jody liked making all these pictures. We are forever grateful. Some facts about the Salute to America show. There was over 70 dissimilar aircraft flights that were flown safely in just 2 days' time. That was a remarkable testament to our planning and our safety. Our air show air boss was able to give a special approval to a hero flight. Now understand, you've got all these planes performing, taking off and landing. No other plane supposed to come into our airport. It's on restricted area. But we got a call from the hero flight to land during Saturday's show, which was bringing home a wounded soldier to be reunited with his family. Our air show crowd welcomed him with a huge applause. This was unexpected for him, but it was a great blessing. Instead of coming home to an empty airport, he came home and was greeted joyfully by over 5,000 people. Now, I've never met a more humble human being in my life. He said to me, "I'm sorry, I messed up your show." And I said, "You're what this is all about." So, great guy. A couple other facts. A new aircraft, the Cirrus SR-22, was sold at our airport during this show for a value of over $750,000. An HC-130 Hercules aircraft from the U.S. Air Force landed at Paulding Northwest Airport and made history as the largest military aircraft to ever land here. The Air Force crew gave tours, and many of you may have gone through that, of this great aircraft during the show. It's remarkable. Now here's your future. A 16-year-old kid brought his simulator design to the show as a vendor and received a contractual agreement with Southern Polytechnic State University. How exciting is that? Isn't that wonderful? This is the part I like, an all-female professional jump team. The Misty Blues made successful multi-member parachute drops into our airfield, both during the night and on Saturday's show. If you saw the first slide, that was the American flag attached to one of the Misty Blues' foot. As she came down, it was a beautiful sight to see. In over a year of careful planning, our air show staff, the volunteers, the security, and the firefighters hosted over 5,000 people at our airport and did it with even as much as a scraped knee. It's a great testament and great planning. Thank you. The second annual Salute to America Air Show with Brent Sparks. Brent, would you stand again? I know you're here somewhere. Brent will be our 2013 Air Show Director. He's a pilot and a Paulding Countyan. And this show will be on the 5th and 6th of October. The two-day event will host several of the nation's most popular acts, including the first military jet air display in Paulding's history, which will be performed by the Royal Canadian Air Force F-18 Hornet Tactical Demonstration Team. A true salute to the people of Paulding County, including those who have served in the armed forces. Also, the air show will acknowledge the economic development initiatives of county and staff by supporting an aerospace and business symposium that will be held in Paulding County, held in the week prior to the show. To summarize this year's show, the mission statement has been accepted. The mission of the Salute to America 2013 Air Show is to showcase Paulding County's regional airport to the aerospace and business world and provide some much-needed support to the residents of Paulding County and surrounding West Georgia counties. I'll change gears with you a little bit here and talk about housing value and housing starts. In 2008, Paulding County experienced the peak of the rise of home values, as reported in the Tax Digest by our county's chief tax appraiser. James Stokes, I think you're here with a couple of board members. Would y'all stand? Right here. In 2009, home values dropped over 6%. In 2010, it dropped a staggering 17.5%. Even with all this substantial downturn and the value had been lost, this continued for another 2 years at 9% decline. Just like everyone in this room, I was wondering, where in the world is the bottom? After this devastating fourth consecutive year decline, home values had declined by over 40% of their value in Paulding County. This was also reflected in the new home permit activity. For the past 30 years, Paulding County had enjoyed great growth with only minor decreases in the recessions that have happened in the past. During this run, Paulding County averaged over 1,300 new home starts per year. During this most recent recession, we have issued less than 1,300 permits in the last 5 years combined, hitting an all-time low last year of 125 permits. As depressing as this information sounds, there is a silver lining. We expect this year, and James, you correct me if I'm wrong, that we will finally flatten out, and there is a chance that we will actually see a slight increase in values. And for the first time in 5 years, we are on track to see an increase in new home starts. Isn't that great? Deborah Seaver tells me Seven Hills subdivision sold 7 houses in 1 day recently in the last few weeks, so that is exciting news. When I took office in January of 2009, I inherited the largest general fund budget in the history of Paulding County. Over the years, the county had grown with house values rising and the economy surged, and as a result, this portion of the budget had risen to a little over $61 million. In the wake of such a sharp economic downturn, clearly this could not continue. I have passed 4 budgets, and now with a 5th budget due out in the coming months, and if you take into account all the cuts that have been made since 2009, I've cut your taxes by over $39 million. Certainly, this has not been easy, and these type of drastic reductions don't come without a lot of help from your county staff, from the employees and the citizens. Many services that we had come to expect have been scaled back or eliminated completely. While I'm glad we were able to reduce the burden on our citizens during this devastating economy, I am mindful of the things that we must plan for in years to come. Maintenance has been deferred, equipment is approaching the end of its service life, and public service that you have known about have been eroded. I'm certain that we can manage these challenges going forward in the same responsible manner that we continue to navigate the roughest economic waters in most of our lifetime. want to turn to a little good news and talk about public safety and our new public radio system. In the early 2011, I directed 911 director to form a committee to explore the county's options for a new public radio system. Next to a deputy's gun or a patrolman's gun, the radio is their next most important tool. I want to tell you that we had to look at this system because we got a federal unfunded mandate. And if you're in politics, you'll hear that a lot, unfunded mandates, to narrow down the current VHF radio system, which would have been a decrease in our radio system throughout the county. The committee consisted of members of the E911, the sheriff, the fire, the marshal, the DOT, the IT, the city of Hiram, the city of Dallas, and the Board of Education. We also contracted with the Georgia Tech Research Institute to provide consulting services for this very important project. The committee evaluated 5 vendor proposals and decided on a Motorola radio system. This system will allow for communication with our different agencies so they can all talk to each other. In the past, they couldn't do this. This will add a huge safety factor for law enforcement. And what I wanted to do is take advantage of all this group's buying power to combine all their efforts to get the best system we could get. Our future plans with this system is in the next 6 months, the 911 Center will implement the Safe Town program. Safe Town is a product that allows registered users to send information about their household that is critical during an emergency. For instance, if you have someone in your household that's an Alzheimer patient, if you have someone in your household that's confined to a bed or a wheelchair, you can put this information into your Safe Town profile, and if a 911 call is placed from your residence, that information will be delivered to the 911 Center and relayed to emergency responders. Safe Town is a step in the next generation of 911, and there is no cost to implement this system. While we're discussing public safety, I was notified yesterday that we will get a Georgia State Patrol post in our region for Paulding County. And hopefully a driver's license bureau, so you won't have to leave the county. Sheriff Gullidge and Chief Andura tells me that this will be a tremendous asset for controlling crime. Instead of having 3 patrolmen come out of Bartow and be here part-time, we have 13 to 19 patrolmen that will be stationed. They will move in temporarily into the Regions Bank building and we'll operate out of there, so I'm excited about that. Now let me turn to our third goal, transportation. Why are connecting roads so important? They are important because 75% of our workforce leaves the county every day. Bill Watson tells me that we have 111,000 cars registered in our county. He also tells me that we grew this population by more than 9,000 cars since 2009. So let's look at some plans that we need for the future and some new corridors to move all these cars. The Seven Hills Boulevard extension. The 2-mile-long project is currently on schedule with a November 2013 completion within the $8.5 million SPLOST budget. When completed this fall, the new connector could carry up to 5,000 vehicles per day. As Cobb begins to widen Cedar Crest Road and make that change from the Cobb County line, this will be an avenue to relieve traffic congestion. Now let's move to Hiram. I know y'all always like to hear that. And talk about East Hiram Parkway. This 3-mile extension of Bill Caruth Parkway is our largest transportation project ever. East Hiram Parkway will allow for easy access and offer alternative for movement in and around Hiram on 278. East Hiram Parkway will be a major hub, listen to this, a major hub for industrial and commercial growth. Highway 92 widening from I-20 through Paulding. We waited on this a long time. But remember, we've got all these cars in the busiest part of our county, and we're trying to relieve some of that congestion. We've worked closely with the Georgia DOT, our state and U.S. leaders to move this project forward for our daily commute and our economic development. We've talked about this in Washington and Atlanta, and we're optimistic that we will finally have the groundbreaking of this 4-lane through Paulding in my term. This project will allow for a faster commute via I-20 to improve the quality of life and to have you with your family more than in your car. We have Bill Carruth's Parkway Phase 2, and this road was appropriately named for Bill, and he's here today. And we will widen this in this same area, widen this road to connect into East Hiram Parkway. It's in its final stages, with East Hiram Parkway scheduled to be open in July, and this project is scheduled to be let sometime, and the work begins September or October of 2013. We're tying all these projects together so that we can make movement easier in and through Paulding County. Not many state of the county addresses do you get to talk about a gravel road, but today I am. The Brushy Mountain 4.5-mile connector between 278 and Brazel Mountain Road. It's our longest, most heavily traveled gravel road, and it's been worked on in phases over the last 2 years, and it should be completed next year. The road will open access to the county and state-owned green space, that's the Paulding Forest, and the Silver Comet Trail, so we're opening up some avenue for tourism. And this will improve the connection between Brazel Mountain Road and Highway 278. I'm excited about that road among the other roads we talked about, and there's a lot more going on in DOT. In fact, Scott Green gave me a book this thick for my State of the County address just for DOT. Thank you, Scott, wherever you are. And I'll tell you, the last but not least project with the DOT, and this will make you happy, is a red light at Paulding County High School. That will relieve one of Gary's deputies from not having to stand out there. Again, I want to tell you that the state of the county is healthy. We will continue to push forward with economic development and help bring us out of this recession. There are so many great departments in this county, and I know people are going to say, why didn't you mention me, or why didn't you talk about me? It's hard to put it all in less than 30 minutes. But I want to tell you, the county has grown, and they play a very great role here in your safety and your government. The Governor's Office of Planning and Budget has said that Paulding County has grown over 150,000 people. In fact, I think we're 6 people shy of 152,000. In my lifetime, I have watched 278 grow from one single store, petty store, and a single red light in Dallas to what you see today. It's amazing where we're headed. In closing, last year I talked to you about the New York Giants Super Bowl champions and their all-in theme. This year I'm borrowing a phrase from the Atlanta Falcons from the 2012 NFC South champions. One game away from the Super Bowl, to rise up and to lead. You watch people every day on social media throw rocks at plans and at leadership. So I want to leave with you this message from Proverbs 29:18. Where there is no vision, the people perish. We have the vision, but we can't do this alone. We are asking you today to please volunteer and to rise up and help us lead this great county in the future. God bless Paulding County, the state of Georgia, and the USA. Thank you.
It's a great presentation, Mr. Chairman, and on behalf of the Chamber, we thank you very much for your partnership. You are a great partner with us, and I'd like to present to you with this gift as a token of our appreciation. Let's give him another hand. We have flowers for James as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.